Here we are, Frank, again. Go ahead and interrupt me. You're going to. You want to so badly.
No, I didn't want to. I was going to not, and then you threw it to me.
The reason you used to interrupt me is because you and I have done 2 games with Bill Walton, parts of games.
How it's changed. Even understanding the world where I am now amongst the greats, the Jerry Garcias of the universe, understanding where we are. This is the universe as one. It's the only way. That news hit me so hard. I don't hate to start the pod on a downer, but you brought it up. Man, that, and I know other people had known a little bit more than I did about what was going on stuff because he was not doing games for a while. But it's just one of those things where when you lose a guy like that, who, and I think we texted back and forth about this. It was amazing because most of the tributes were very little about basketball and mostly about Bill as a human.
Yes.
And that tells you something about the person.
Yeah, I have not talked a ton about it, publicly, and obviously there's some things
That's why I brought you on Pasch Pod today.
Thank you.
I brought you on here through being summoned through Caliendo. I'm here, and I've wanted to talk to you for so long. Get out the Ouija board. The Walton Ouija is ready to go.
Caliendo's already hijacked the pod. The Frank Caliendo pod with Bill Walton, played by Frank Caliendo. Yeah. But, yeah, Bill, it's still hard. I just did a game in Tucson. It's the first time that I've been back there to do a game without Bill.
Yeah.
And they have his chair. They had a special chair for him.
Right.
That was like the Walton chair. It was high up because Bill couldn't sit on low chairs like you and me. And it was covered in bumper stickers or whatever. And but we didn't break it out for the game because I just, I didn't want to lose it first of all.
I could see it. That would be difficult.
It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard. It's still hard.
I'd heard some broadcasts where people were doing like what used to be a Pac-12 type of game, and they were kind of doing their Bill Walton-ish tributes. But it was fine. It was okay, but I was just like, man, I would have a tough time doing that myself, knowing Bill. Yeah. And you knew him way better than I did, but I got to know him pretty well over the years. When I first met him he came, I might have told you this story on a show before. I was doing a charity type event in San Diego, and they're like, the sports impressions will go over really well, and I started going through some of them that I was going to do, the Barclays and stuff like that. I said, Bill Walton. They're like, oh, he's going to be here. I don't know if he'd like it. I'm like, well, I'm going to take the chance. And then they're like, his back is sore and all kind of. I'm like, well, let's see. I've only heard great things about Bill Walton. And I start doing the impression, and in the back you hear, hilarious, unbelievable. That is me on the dot. How fantastic that this tiny little South Park-looking man could do me the way that this is all coming down. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great sport. I mean, he would tell me all the time, keep coming at me, don't stop. There's nothing you can say that will ever offend me. And then he'd take his head off, he'd go, no matter what I say or what I do, know that I love you, but don't tell anyone. He would do that all the time because he loved the fact that people thought that we hated each other.
Oh, gosh.
He ate
shtick,
it up.
The shtick, yeah.
When I would go over to his house, he would always have a place setting for me, and the place setting would have, all the dead stuff. He had bobbleheads everywhere in his house. And the place setting would also have these placards that he had made. Every Pac-12 tournament, he made a T-shirt and a placard, and it would be something that had to do with the Pac-12 tournament, but also a criticism of me. And there was one time he had him on the left side. It was like a split screen. On the left was a blue sky with rainbows, and he's dressed, or the character of him is dressed with like a long white beard. He's got his arms up, and there's animals and children everywhere. And he says, please don't take away our Children's Day. And on the other side is me, basically, I think, in hell, on a pile of coal. Because he thought that, he called me coal, and he called himself solar. And he always say that, because there's this ostrich farm on the way to Tucson, he would always say, I stopped by the ostrich farm to say hello to your family. Take your head out of the sand. Get with the times. Anyway, enough on Bill. I actually have a T-shirt on. I think we can see it here with Bill. This is where Bill at Arizona
ate the birthday
State.
Cupcake with the flame.
Candle. I mean, the candle's lit. And on the back, which I'm not going to take my thing out, but it says, I worked 12 years with Bill Walton, or I survived 12 years with Bill Walton, and all I got was this T-shirt. I was actually going to give it to Bill our last game, but he got sick, and so obviously I didn't get a chance to give it to him. Yeah. But he's the best. We love him. We miss him.
Yeah, absolutely.
His wife, Lori, is tremendous, and she's doing really well, and the boys are doing well. I have not seen Luke. I have not had a Detroit game, but I know the boys are doing well.
Yeah.
So, all right. Glad to have you on the pod. Appreciate it. You are going to be at Desert Ridge Improv January 31st and February 1st. Jan 31 is at 7 p.m., one show.
Yep.
Saturday night, Feb 1, two shows, 6 p.m., 8:30. You can get tickets at frankonstage.com or desertridgeimprov.com.
Yep, absolutely.
Anything else you want to add
That's
there?
just such a well done promo. It's like you're in the business.
And I have gone, and I went to Desert Ridge Improv when I went to see you. And as funny as you are here, dude, because there are certain things you're not going to do in the podcast that you'll do live with there's some political people that you will do that you're not going to do here. Because
I always get worried that on like the podcast, people will they'll clip it and then they'll make it seem, because I make fun of everybody. I'm an equal opportunity. I don't want to say offender, but it's more that I just make fun of all sides. And when you do that and you put too much out on a podcast, people will clip, and it's, especially when it's dealing with like the Cardinals or something, it's a total different world that you play in. So my comedy isn't slanted any particular political direction, but you could clip it and cut it to make it seem that way.
Because when I was there, you made fun of every candidate. You didn't just pick one. You made fun of everybody. Yeah. And again, it was all in good fun, and it's hilarious. And it wasn't just that. You were doing sports figures. You were doing actors. Yeah, it's awesome. So if you get a chance and you want to see, in my opinion, one of the best comedians alive, Frank Caliendo, get tickets.
Yeah, I can't do a better promo than that.
All right. And the reason you're here today, why are you here today?
You asked and I accidentally said yes.
Frank has been on now 4 times. Frank is our greatest guest. Because
this is like the SNL 5-timers club, but way less cool.
Frank is a great guest as a friend because he does it for free, number one, and he says yes. And it's hard to get people to say yes these days. So, but what we do with Frank is, and I don't think anybody else anywhere is doing anything like this, is we play actual clips of calls, highlights from the Cardinals season with Wolf and me on the mic, and then we give you the exact script that is clipped for that particular play, and then you do your thing.
You throw out names, and I redo that audio, but in the different impressions as you're throwing them out. We do have the list of impressions, so there are people that I can kinda or do, but it's not in any particular order, and you can throw them out randomly, and it's just more fun that way. And sometimes it's right on the money, and sometimes it's a mess, and it's just like Wolf.
It shows off your true talent and your unique skill, and it also allows people to kind of celebrate the season.
Yeah.
It didn't end the way we wanted. The Cardinals missed the playoffs, but hey, double the win total from last year. There were some great moments. We're going to celebrate those today.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in particular, because I think we tried out in the past some people on here. Is there anybody in particular you're working on that you feel good about enough to either try just us chatting here or part of the highlight, or that you'd rather not unveil just yet?
No, there's some that we talked about a little bit off air. I was working on Sean McVay. It's people think he sounds like Gruden. And I don't think he does. The Gruden's in here, man. It's right in there. But Sean McVay, it's almost Chicago for some reason. I don't know why. It's because he has nothing to do with Chicago.
No, he doesn't.
Chicago. But that's right there. I remember that play. That was a pretty good one right there. And I remember my birth. His memory is what's always funny to me. Is like I remember looking out and suddenly there was light. And somebody's cutting something off of me, and what do you describe? Are you describing your birth? Yeah, I can remember it like it was yesterday.
It is amazing. His influence, by the way, not for people that care about this stuff, football people, it is incredible, his influence on – I talked to a lot of college coaches because this year was the first year in college football that you had the communication system with a quarterback. They had not had that before.
I didn't even realize that.
And when Jared Goff was in L.A., a lot of times McVay would stand behind the defense, and you could talk up until 15 seconds on the play clock, and then the mic shuts off. And he would basically call out everything to Jared. And teams caught on, and then they would change things after 15 seconds. But he was like the first guy really to, at least publicly, people found out how involved he was.
Right.
And so a lot of college coaches are doing that. They are using it up to 15 seconds basically to call out any checks or, hey, keep an eye on this. Hey, remember we saw this when we looked at film. Like, pretty amazing, the communication. The guy's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand. It's so far beyond me.
All right, let's get to the first play. What we're doing, we're going to play it. You can hear me. You can hear Wolf. Feel free to talk over it or do your thing. This is Marvin Harrison's, I think it's his first career touchdown. It's against the Rams, and that great quarter, that opening quarter when the Cardinals had their first win of the season at home. So Jim Omohundra, our producer, will go ahead and play the clip.
Snap to Murray, pass play. Murray with time, fires, deep middle, end zone for Harrison, and Harrison made the catch and got his feet down for the touchdown. First NFL score for Marvin Harrison Jr., the first of many to come.
Just throw the Twinkie into the toaster. Kyler Murray. Oh, my goodness. That is a Twinkie right on the money to Marvin Harrison Jr. Tap him up, rookie.
Have you ever toasted a Twinkie?
No, I haven't eaten a Twinkie since I was like 9.
No. I feel like a Twinkie would destroy the toaster.
I would think so.
Like, my goodness,
What is melting inside?
what? Does he prep some of this stuff? He has to have, or is that just off the top of his
It's
head?
off the top of his head. Now, I have seen other analysts that actually have. There was a former analyst of the Miami Dolphins that used to have when we play them, and it was rare that we'd play them, but on the wall, you'd see all of his one-liners.
Right.
He had them all written out.
Yeah.
Wolf does not. It's all on the top of his head.
Why would you write that down, though?
Right, exactly.
Throw the Twinkie into the toaster.
What?
So we'll marry this to video, too. So
How great is that?
as good as this is with
Unbelievable.
with audio,
I've got to work back into my wolf.
all right, so
Get it ready.
let's go ahead. Let's start with you. Have you been able to – do you do any play-by-play guys at all?
I don't think there's many because play-by-play is usually just doing color analysts are usually more the person you do because it's talking about stuff more, where play-by-play does the actual what's going on.
You can just say we're boring and monotone. That's okay. Go ahead.
I think you just did.
We all sound the same. We all sound like Sean McDonough. I actually was talking to Sean recently about that. Sean's like, get your own act. He's messing around because we all went to Syracuse. We all wanted to be Sean.
There
we all
is
talk
a
like
guy.
Sean.
There is a guy. I'm trying to figure out. There's a guy who has taken your voice. Do you know? There's a guy who sounds so much like you.
me or like Sean?
No, like you. No,
I don't know.
There's a guy who sounds a lot like you that when I'm hearing games, I'm like, oh, that guy has way too much knowledge to be Dave Pasch. But there is somebody that I actually have to listen to every once in a while and figure out if it's you or not.
Is it Dave Fleming? Because some people think that we do sound like Dave works for ESPN. He does the San Francisco Giants. Or is it Jason Benetti at Fox? Benetti.
I don't know. I'd have to listen.
Benetti sounds more like Sean, and actually Benetti does a great Sean. If you want to learn how to do McDonough, talk to Jason Benetti. He does a really good.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to learn from somebody else.
Okay,
that's stealing.
Okay. All right.
That's what you do.
So let's do this call. Let's start as Liam Neeson.
Snap to Murray. Pass play. Murray with time.
Tracy Morgan.
Fires deep middle end zone for Harrison. And Harrison made the catch.
Stephen A.
Got his own feet down for the touchdown. First NFL score for Marvin Harrison Jr., the first of many to come.
Chris Berman.
Yeah. Throw the Twinkie into the toaster. Okay, little Murray.
Paul Giamatti.
Oh, my goodness. That is a Twinkie right on the money to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Seth Rogen.
Tap him up, rookie.
Dude, that is so good, man. How do you do that, seriously?
What are you, 9?
Well,
Was
no.
that the Chris Farley?
Remember that time you did that thing with that was awesome.
I laughed so hard I just pulled my headset out. No, seriously, do you practice it? Does it just come natural?
Well, that stuff, once it's like muscle memory, it's like anything to me when you're doing when I work on an impression, if I get it, if they're one of the better ones that I do, it means I've just put tons of reps into it. So it's repetition, it's repetition and react. So when I do the impression, I see the person in front of me. So I'm actually looking. It's like I'm looking in a mirror and seeing the person. I'm always disappointed when I see myself do it because I'm like, I feel like I am the person doing the character. So that's what does it to me. It's actual visual. I lock in on the visuals, and it lets me actually do it. It's like almost out of body.
The way you said character sounded like you're from Long Island. Were you trying to imitate somebody?
Character? I don't know. I don't know if I do
from
different.
Wisconsin.
Do I do different characters?
You grew up like an hour from me. You sound.
Listen,
that's not
Milwaukee
how
has a lot of.
sound.
There's a lot of different linguistic situations in.
So you sit there, and your daughter Juliet sometimes, or I don't know if she's too busy now, probably for you.
She's at ASU, so she's busy.
But she used to.
Kenny Dillingham.
It's pretty good, Dillingham. Do it again.
I don't know.
But it's his energy.
I'll tell you what's the genius of Kenny Dillingham. He wears the Sun Angels Collective stuff while he's doing press. So that's their NIL. So he's actually I love that guy.
He's great.
He's
great.
It is, and I love Bobby Hurley too. Yep. And my kids go to ASU. And before, who's the athletic director at
the
ASU?
previous one?
No, the new athletic.
Graham Rossini.
Graham Rossini.
Yes, how you pronounce it. Yeah.
And he is the whole landscape of Arizona athletics has made me. I'm proud to live in Tempe now, which it hadn't been the situation. So the Arizona State basketball and football and everything. My daughter loves hockey, believe it or not. So it's pretty cool to have this kind of backing, and everybody, like the community, seems behind it, which has been a while.
I did the ASU BYU game, which was a crazy game, crazy ending, and the stadium was full. It was awesome. It felt so big, and the fact that they got to the college football playoff.
They were the only bye that that was talked about, as far as those byes maybe not being worthy of being there. They were the only one that made it a game.
Correct.
And my son texted me, who goes to ASU. He was at that BYU game. I don't want to say where he was at certain points, but
was he on the field?
I can't say, can I?
You can say if he's on the field. Everybody was on the field.
Oh, it's so funny because I'll ask my son. I'll say, "Did you storm the field?" He goes, "Twice."
Well, it was weird because they stormed the field, then there was a second left, and that stadium. There's no way to get everybody back into the seats.
Yeah.
To like the whatever side of that end zone on the right side, our right. I don't know if it's north, east, or west, or south.
Nobody would know either.
But they had to put everybody on the sideline and in the opposite end zone for that last play. And I'd never seen that before. Usually they clear the field. Well, they couldn't. It would have taken too long. And then so it was a lot easier to storm the field.
I was in Vegas at F1 with my daughter. I was walking through the casino and saw the end of that going on. I think it was at Park MGM is actually where I was looking, and the screens over one of the one of the table games. And I was like, it's not over yet. I'm like, there's a second left. He threw it, it's out of bounds before.
Yep.
And
it's good to know we showed the right replay so you could figure that out. We're doing our job on television.
Yeah.
Why were you worried about saying that he stormed the field? What are they going to?
I don't know.
Are they going to find him and find 35,000 people who stormed the field?
I don't know. I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on with that because I don't pay attention. So I figured there was no harm in it, but I also didn't want to get my son in any more trouble than he could already get himself into.
Steve Caliendo, that's
Steve,
his name.
Yeah, he's got a different last name. So it's different last name.
Yeah, Jerry.
Calamari. Steve Calamari. Steve Jerry Callo. His nickname is Callo. Yeah.
It's like Joe Pesci's character in My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
You're not really sure what his name is.
No, you should not. You should not be.
Was that Joe Pesci?
Okay. Listen, Harvard.
All right, let's just do Wolf's part again. Let's start that last highlight. Let's start that as Tony Romo.
Oh, Jim, throw the Twinkie into the toaster, Kyler Murray.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, my goodness, I couldn't get it out. That is a Twinkie right on the money to Marvin Harrison Jr. Tap him up, rookie.
All right, do tap him up, rookie, as Owen Wilson.
Wow, tap him up, rookie. That's such a great job. Really, really great, man. That's one of those that I got. It takes me a second to really, really get into it, and then I find it. That's really, really wonderful. Who's putting Twinkies in toasters, man?
Oh, my goodness. All right, we can move to play, too. I don't want to wear you out completely. We want you to make it to January 31st without losing your voice here. All right, let's play. This is a James Conner 1-yard touchdown run against New England. So this was late in the year. Go ahead, Ohms.
3rd and goal on the 1. Murray takes. They run it up the middle. Touchdown, James Conner. The Cardinals blew a hole in the Patriot defensive formation, and Conner scores from a yard out.
You give me a ground pounder and 3 dirt lickers, and we'll get it in every
Ernie
time.
laugh out of me.
Let your dirt lickers do what they do. Come off the ball and let the ground pounder stick it in.
I just got hit in the head, and this is what's coming out of my mouth.
The joy that you have listening to Wolf, I hope everybody listening has that same joy. I was somewhere yesterday, and somebody stopped me and said, "Can you tell Wolf that I love?" It was a female. "Can you tell Wolf that I love him?" And I said, "Well, he's married. You want me to tell him you think he's entertaining? You enjoy him on the air?" She's like, "No.
I love him.
Tell him I love him." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that." But you seem to have the same reaction.
Yeah.
You enjoy listening to them. This is great.
There's just something. There's a slight moment of pause where he revs up, and then it starts happening. Like you give him the time to come in. There's a slight pause, and then here it comes. Like it's just like the moment before. There's this anticipatory. It's a moment of pre-celebration from me, just knowing what's back in the I think it was the early '90s when I would watch Cheers, and I couldn't wait to hear what the Cheers characters were going to say, because you thought you knew what they were going to say because the writing was so good for each character, but then they would say it, and you're like, that's even better than what I thought. That is. Wolf is a Jim Burrows. Wolf is the Jim Burrows sitcom of color analysis.
Can you do any of the characters from Cheers? I mean, do you remember?
Oh, for heaven's sake, probably Fraser Crane.
Seinfeld you can do, though.
Of course I can,
right,
but that's not a Jim Burrows.
All right, we're gonna.
No idea what he's talking about, Jerry. Get to the next one. This is your pod, and you're taking too much time.
All right, so let's go ahead and do me, and let's just go ahead and start as Seinfeld. Go for it.
3rd and goal on the 1. Murray takes. They run it up
John
the middle. Touchdown, James Conner.
Shaq.
The Cardinals blew a hole in the Patriot defense.
Morgan Freeman.
And Conner scores from a yard out.
All right, let's do Wolf now. Let's start out as Jack Nicholson.
You give me a ground pounder and 3 dirt lickers, and we'll get it in every time.
David
Don't
Attenborough.
interrupt me. This is too good for this. Let your dirt lickers do what they do. Come off the ball and let the ground pounder stick it in. There's a full moon because Wolf just appeared.
Have you seen that movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson when it came out? It's actually not bad.
I remember it.
It's
I
actually
remember
not bad.
it was one of those where I was thinking this is going to be incredible, and then it was just okay. Like you're thinking,
Yeah,
like
it's not incredible, but
you could
it's pretty
see
good.
him becoming the Wolf
Yeah,
Man.
oh yeah. He used to.
I'm doing it. Pay attention to your guests. The moon was out and the cloud was coming across slowly. And what were you doing? Doing play-by-play of what was ever going on in that mediocre little brain of yours. Thanks, Bill, for the words coming from heaven.
He used to.
How did you even get in the building?
Jack Nicholson used to, at Laker games, he would always wave over to the table. I don't know if he was waving. Probably wasn't waving to me.
He didn't
Probably
e-
waving to whoever I was with.
Didn't
but
even see.
No, because Billy Crystal.
I'm out of my gourd right now.
When I would do Clipper games with Hubie Brown, Billy Crystal would always come over and talk to Hubie. No, always say
Hubie Brown
hello.
was only about 85 back then.
But he would talk to Hubie.
Billy Crystal would show up? I didn't even know he was going to be in this. That's crazy. You know, I wanted to be Louis Aparicio when I was a kid. I would throw like Louis Aparicio. I would catch like Louis Aparicio. I would grab myself like Louis Aparicio. I just wanted to be Louis Aparicio. And now I'm a Clippers fan.
The point on the Jack Nicholson wave was it was like the wave in the movies when he waves. Like if you saw As Good as It Gets where he kind of waves over, that was like
Yeah, one of these.
But the reason I'm bringing that up is I was doing a Knicks game last year, and Tracy Morgan is sitting 2 seats to my left. And every time I looked at Tracy Morgan, I started laughing because he was sitting with Chris Rock. But that wasn't why I was laughing, but it was because all I could think of was you.
That's big. That's crazy. That's big. That's Dave Pasch over there.
Tracy Morgan.
He's doing such a great job. Listen to him doing play-by-play.
I can't believe I almost fell asleep listening to Dave Pasch. Dave Pasch doing play-by-play. That's crazy. What's Dave Pasch doing now that Bill Walton's gone?
All right, can we do the ground pounder, the whole thing? Since you like doing it as Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
do you have any? Do you want to pick like dealer's choice here? Do you want to pick who you do it all as, like David Attenborough, or you have anybody else?
I think that one would be a good Paul Giamatti.
We already did Paul. Like, how about De Niro?
Well,
or-
I'm doing it again.
Okay, you do whatever you want. This is your
You
show.
give me a ground pounder and 3 dirt lickers, and we'll get it in every time. Let your dirt lickers do what they do. Come off the ball and let the ground pounder stick it in.
Can you do it as? Let's do it as. Hold on here.
I'm trying to think of
I
this.
had
Certain
somebody-
people are really great for these types of. Pacino is another great wolf.
Yeah, do that. Can
You give me a ground pounder, 3 dirt lickers, and we'll get it in every time. Let your dirt lickers do what they do. Come off the ball and let the ground pounder stick it in.
Sounded like a PSA at first, and then you really punched it at the end.
That's what we did,
A
yeah.
PSA for ground pounding. How about Mel Kiper?
It's called building it. It's called building the seed.
We'll talk about tremendous. Give me a ground pounder, 3 dirt lickers. We'll get in every time. Let your dirt lickers do what they do. Come off the ball. Let the ground pounder stick it in. You'd be hard pressed to tell me otherwise.
Anybody else you want to try that as? Or you want to move on?
Let's move on.
All right. All right. How about Belichick? We just do the whole thing. Now the North Carolina head coach, Bill Belichick, as Ron Wolfley.
Give me a ground pounder and 3 dirt lickers, and we'll get in every time. Let your dirt lickers do what they do. Come off the ball and let the ground pounder stick it in.
All right. Marvin Harrison Jr. This is another play against the Rams. 60-yard touchdown. Go ahead, Holmes.
Murray under center. Takes. Play action. A boot to the right. Murray looking downfield. Now lobs it deep. Near side. Harrison caught it at the 20. At the 10. Harrison dives for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown.
Pause.
Like a tear falling from your cheek, baby. That ball came straight down out of the sky. Marvin Harrison Jr. off of play action. A bootleg rollout, and Kyler again drops a dime. And Marvin Harrison Jr. stretches out, and the pig breaks the plane. Oh, that is awesome.
But not as awesome as what I just said.
All right. Let's start that by you doing me as Walton.
Murray under center takes play action, a boot to the right.
Charles Barkley.
Murray looking downfield, now lobs it up deep near side. Harrison caught the ball at the 20.
Robert
at the
De Niro.
10. Yeah, I was going Robert Downey Jr. on accident, huh? Because I didn't listen to who the Robert was. Harrison dives for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown.
All right. Let's do Wolf as John C. Riley.
Wait a second. I was going Seth Rogen. There it is. Like a tear falling from your cheek, baby.
Morgan Freeman.
That ball came straight down out of the sky. Marvin Harrison Jr.
David Attenborough.
Off the play action, a bootleg rollout, and Kyler Murray again.
Jerry Jones.
Drops a dime. He did, like we dropped our recent head coach. And Marvin Harrison Jr.
Pacino.
Stretches out, and the pig breaks the plane. Oh, that is awesome!
Do you want to do
I
the
couldn't think of Mike McCarthy. It's been so long since he's been head coach. It's been almost an hour
Sorry, Mike.
since we had him.
Sorry, Mike. I know he's a listener.
Football.
to this.
We're going to get some football. That's Mike McCarthy. Got our football team. Get our football team going to play some football.
Why do coaches always do that?
We're going to play some good football.
We know what game you're playing.
Got good football players. Good football players.
I think it's the
playing
Western PA thing. Like he's a lot of the coaches.
But all
are
the
Western
coaches
PA
do
guys.
that.
Sound
They
like
all
that?
do that. They all say football, but he's got that.
Yeah, we're gonna go out there. We just do what we need to do and take care of it. Take care of stuff.
Can you do? Is there anybody in particular you think you can do that whole thing as Wolf? Like would that fit perfectly with any of the people you do? Because the Jack like.
Well, honestly, the whole thing could have been done, and we did part of it. Was the Morgan Freeman?
Well, let's just do Morgan Freeman for the whole thing.
Like a tear falling from your cheek, baby. That ball came straight down out of the sky. Marvin Harrison Jr. Off play action. A bootleg rollout. And Kyler Murray again drops a dime. And Marvin Harrison Jr. stretches out. And the pig breaks the plane. Oh, that is awesome.
Can you just do "Oh, that is awesome" as Adam Sandler?
Oh, that is awesome.
Again, how you're able to just jump. That's why I brought up your daughter Juliet earlier, because she would help you practice that, right?
Yeah.
She would just throw out. Is that
Well,
how
then
you
Sandler
guys-
would be pretty like a tear, like oh look at it, like a tear falling from your cheek, baby, and a ball came straight down out of the sky. Marvin Harrison Jr. off the play action, bootleg rollout, and Kyler Murray again. Oh, he drops a dime, and Marvin Harrison Jr. stretches out. The big pig breaks the plane. Hey, he's awesome.
He was at an Arizona game last year playing
yeah.
pickup with the managers before the game. I think he's got a sister maybe who lives in Tucson. He's there a bunch.
He was doing a bunch of college. He went to a bunch of colleges too. I think did he stop by? I think he might have stopped by Creighton too, because I'm friends with the guys at Creighton. Coach Mack out there. There were a couple different places that he'd gone. I think maybe he just likes, he knows he can get into a gym in any college.
I mean, he was playing, warm up.
He plays against the managers.
3-on-3 against the managers like an hour before the game.
Yeah.
But they just let him. It's Adam Sandler.
Yeah, what are you
Let him
gonna
do what he wants.
Yeah.
He waved over too, but I think he was waving to Bill.
Hey, that's Bill Walton and the guy that nobody cares about. There it is. Yeah, that's great. That's Dave Pasch. Yeah? They should have named him Dave Pasch, because I'll pass on talking to him. Let's talk to somebody else there. Hey, I gotta go do Fallon. See you later. The good thing for Sandler is, if he's going to play pickup basketball, he's already dressed for it all the time. He never has to change apparel.
You're not kidding. What he was wearing is not what most people would wear to play pickup basketball.
Got some Bermuda shorts on.
Correct.
And
he wouldn't wear it to a steakhouse, and you wouldn't wear it to play
he would.
pickup
I think he
basketball.
would.
But as I'm saying,
I wear that stuff on the
goes.
Tonight Show, man. They say, well, you're going to wear that? I'm like, what else you got for me? You want me to wear a toga? Yeah, it's not that kind of party.
How long have you been doing this now, by the way?
I don't know.
No, seriously.
I graduated from UW Milwaukee in 1996 with a broadcast journalism major. You can see where that went.
Did you want to be a broadcaster?
Yeah, I wanted to do it. I think I wanted to do what you do.
Okay.
I actually wanted to be more of a Sports Center anchor type of person. I never could have done it. Just my memory isn't right for that type of thing, stats especially, and just to be a good one. I could have been maybe an entertaining one that was like a news reader, but I would never have had the memory for that or current. I couldn't keep everything straight.
Play-by-play is very easy. Anybody can do it.
I've seen.
When I used to work with Urban Meyer, the year I worked with Urban, he would, at the camera meeting, he would ask anybody if they wanted to play by. Anybody, you want to do it today? You want to do it today? Like, just to bust my chops.
Right.
But.
No, I think I've actually, the first time I realized how hard that actually was doing, working as an announcer, they let me in to, not the Cubs broadcast, but the Cubs were playing the Reds years ago, and the Reds let me on their broadcast, and I really didn't have much to say, but I didn't really do that much of the homework for the game. So once you know what you're talking about, but you have to be very knowledgeable to be able to throw things in and keep things moving, especially during baseball. That's a lot of filler. So, people rip the announcers a lot. I see that. I used to be one of those people until I realized how hard it was. And I'm like, well, you have to talk to everybody who doesn't already know, especially analysts. You have to speak to the average person and try not to tick off the knowledgeable people at the same time. And that's pretty difficult.
Unless you're Tony Romo.
That's Tony Romo watching F1.
All right, this is a Kyler Murray 44-yard touchdown run against the L.A. Chargers.
Back to throw off play action. Deep in the pocket. Stepping up. Moving left. Taking off. Running far side. 45-40. Gets past the defender at the 30. Far side 20. He will walk in. 10-5. Touchdown. Kyler Murray, a 44-yard touchdown run.
4-3 is nasty fast. Man, he hit the Jets. And the pants fired.
When that
and down
rumble,
the sideline, he
down
went
the sideline,
untouched.
touched,
Wow.
touched, rumble, touch, rumble.
This is finding the things with Wolf that make him very interesting.
When you hear it get into there,
That's that moment.
the eeriness of everything happening.
All right, let's start this call. You start off as Adam Schefter.
According to my sources, goes back to throw off play action, deep in the pocket, stepping up,
Liam Neeson.
Moving left, taking off, running far side, 45, 40.
Charles Barkley.
Gets past the defender at the 30, far side 20.
Chris Berman.
Yeah, he will walk it.
Robert Downey.
at 10-5, touchdown. Kyler Murray, 44-yard touchdown run.
Vince Vaughn.
I got 4-3 is a nasty run. I mean, I guess I thought it would be pretty. Get out of this one because I'm running out of.
Pacino.
He hits the Jets, and the pants fired.
Tracy Morgan.
I don't even know what that meant. Pants fired. And down the sideline he went, untouched.
Stephen
wow.
A.
I am done with this recording because the play is over.
That's true. I got it to you late. All right. Can we do just Wolf there, that whole thing? Can we just do that whole thing as – I love the Morgan Freeman, but I feel like we're abusing Morgan here. Like
Yeah,
he gets used too much, but I know it's one of your favorites.
Do you want to do it as Morgan Freeman or do you want to do another one?
You pick. Dealer's choice.
Who do I
Go
do?
ahead.
Let me see the list.
Who
of
do you
guys.
do? There you go.
I always forget. You know,
There's more. I mean, there's more. You can try new ones, honestly.
yeah, but I
Feel
always
free.
but then it's just an amateur hour.
Like my Vince Vaughn was. I couldn't get it out.
Well, again, that's hard though. How do you
I
adjust when I'm changing directions on you that quickly?
Well, no,
How
it's
do you
just
do that?
it's not a fault of anyone.
4-3 is nasty.
I think we did a little Liam Neeson there. I'm trying to think who else would be a.
Yeah, do the whole thing as Chris. 4-3 is nasty fast. Man, he hit the Jets and the pants fired down the sideline. He went untouched. Wow.
That's good. How about Barkley?
4-3 is nasty fast. That's ridiculous, man. He hit the Jets and the pants fired, and down the sideline he went untouched. Shaq, that's crazy. Wow. I thought it was pretty good.
The Shaq and Charles back and forth is
It's always good. I agree with the first half of what you said, but the second part was a little crazy.
Anybody else?
I'm trying to think if there's anybody for a longer one.
Your Jerry Jones actually was really
I
good.
have been. 4-3 is nasty fast. It is, man.
Tony Romo.
Man, he hit the Jets. And the pants fired. Down the sideline he went untouched. Wow, Jim. Oh, that's really, really good.
Now just do it as Wolf. Just do the whole thing.
4-3 is nasty fast, man. He hit the Jets and the pants fired, and down the sideline he went untouched. Wow.
You are amazing. Don't hurt. Okay, we want Frank to be healthy for when you make ridiculous amounts of money for these events you have coming up.
Ridge Improv. Here it is. Make it happen.
January 31st, Friday night, 7 p.m. Saturday, Feb 1, 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. at Desert Ridge Improv, Frank Caliendo Live. Go to frankonstage.com, desertridgeimprov.com.
You nailed it. Crushed it.
Thanks, my man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Rack me. I am out.